And welcome back, everybody, to the Flyers All Access Show right here on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Matt Malloy, and finally, after more than a season, we finally get Patty O'Brien sitting in studio with us. Patty, first of all, thanks a lot for doing this. We appreciate you being here. Now, we only have about 10 or 12 minutes, so let's make the most of it. Patty, after last season, in the off season, when you were back to being property of the Mount Pro Blades, you went to Twitter to pretty much campaign a trade back to Gander. So just start this off by telling us why you wanted to come back to Gander so badly.
It's just a great place to play. The fans have been really good to me, the executive. I get a lot of playing time here. It's been really nice. Everyone's been so good. So it's nice to come back and play in a place that you feel appreciated. And so that's basically why I hopped on Twitter and got that going.
Now, as for the playing time last year, you had about 95% of the starts last year. Now, this year, you're splitting time with Devin O'Brien. Mm-hmm. So has that been a big change for you, Patty? What's that been like?
I don't know. I think last year getting the 95% of the starts, that was more of a change for me, and I enjoyed it greatly. But Devin's a good goalie, and I think we're good friends. We got a good chemistry there. So you got two good goalies, you might as well use them. So, and I think it's benefited our team.
Just talk about the sort of hockey relationship that you have with Devin. I guess you guys must be good friends off and on the ice. Mm-hmm. To have such good rapport going.
Yeah, well, Devin and I have known each other for quite a few years now, so it's good to be teammates with him again. It's good. He's got a lot of experience. Played in the Q, played a lot of junior A hockey, so we can bounce ideas off each other, talk about how our games are going. Little things we like to change here and there, and he's always got some good tips and advice for me. So I really appreciate having him.
And speaking of changes, the Flyers made one big change this year when they named Peter Campbell as the first captain. Of course, we all seen what Peter can do on the ice, but just on the ice, and maybe if he's in the dressing room, just talk about what he is, or maybe how he is as a captain and as a leader.
Yeah, well, you bring in a guy like Campbell he's played a lot of hockey in a lot of different places. He's a professional, so he acts professionally on the ice and off the ice, and I think it's a good influence on the team, and I think it's kind of like when he's out there doing his thing, or it's a lead by example sort of situation. He takes it one way and the team follows suit, and I think that's what we need right now.
And also, too, the Flyers just made a few new additions when they brought in, it was Matt Quinn, and they also brought in Jeremy Van Hoof. They've only played 2 games so far, Patty, so just talk about what you've seen from those 2 players in those first 2 games that they played.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been 2 good additions. I like what I've seen. Hoofer back there on the point, he's a solid, steady defenseman. He's talking to me lots when we're on the ice, so we've got good communication already, which helps out in our own end. And Quinn he plays with an intensity. He's a quick guy, great passer, so it's good to have him up front for sure.
Right now, the Flyers have hit the exact halfway point of the season. You guys are riding a 4-game point streak right now. Just tell me what you're expecting to see from the Flyers in the second half of the season.
It feels pretty good. I think we're kind of turning a bit of a corner here. I think the team realizes that it wasn't going to happen overnight, but we have the right mix-up in the room and the right tools and assets to get it done. So I think coming into the new year, we're just looking to build on what we've done so far, and that starts this weekend against Grand Falls. So.
And just like you said before, Patty, there's been some change around when it comes to the Gander Flyers this season. So who has surprised you, or who has impressed you the most so far this season on the Flyers? I guess there's a few there.
I think there's a lot of new guys in the room, so it's a bit of a different face. But I think for me, Keogh he's been big in our own end, and as well as Brad Sling. I think the guys have settled their game down a lot. It's a very fast league.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time to make decisions, and I think the 2 of those guys have really stepped it up and have been playing really well.
And also too, for guys that have stepped up, just talk about Grant Donovan a little bit. That guy just. Right now, he's leading the team in points as well as assists. It seems like he really stepped his game up this year. He's dropped some weight. He was hitting the gym hard in the offseason, so it seems like he's really bringing a lot of stability to the Flyers this year.
Yeah, Donnie's been really good for us, and I think he's another leader in our room, and he's a great hockey player. He's a smart hockey player. He gets a lot of opportunities because he's skating good lines all the time, and it really pays to have him out there. And yeah, he's been rewarded with the points for sure. And
now, Patty, for you, and I wanted to ask you this for a long time, goalies are a bit quirky. We'll call it, I guess we could say that safely. Just talk about some of your pregame rituals, because I did see you before one time in Gander, you were getting ready for a game. Is there anything that you do, pregame just to get ready for the game?
I don't call them rituals, I like to call them routines. They're just things that I do that keep me feeling comfortable before and during a game. So, for me, game day is exactly that. It's an all-day thing. It starts with getting up in the morning.
It's an all-day thing for you.
Oh, absolutely. It starts in the morning, get up, have a good meal, head to the rink for your game day skate. A little meal afterwards, fire in a nap at the house back after the meal. I like to get to the rink a couple hours early, usually around 2.5 hours early. I'll get into my warm-up clothes, my running gear, and that sort of thing. and it's put in the headphones, get the tapes, the twigs taped up, and do the same thing. You can find me in the same spots at the same times, most times before a game, just doing the little things I like to do to get ready.
As for your music, anything maybe specific that you listen to before a game?
I think for the most part, I listen to the kind of same stuff before every game, and it's not really like the pump up tunes or the rap or anything like that you think you're going to get fired up. It's whatever's going to relax me and keep me calm. My brother is a musician who has a band called Fortunate Ones. I listen to he and his girlfriend Catherine's music all the time before a game. Another good one from here is the Dardanelles, Matt Brien. Good traditional music, just stuff that kind of relaxes me before a game and just makes me feel ready to go.
And also, too, Patty, during the game, I noticed countless times taking pictures down in that one same corner. It seems like after every whistle, you go and you tap that one pane of glass, the same spot on that same pane of glass. Is that a ritual of yours, or is that just?
I mean, I guess it is. I don't really notice that I'm doing these things until people kind of bring it up to me, and I don't know. I just like to keep moving during the games, and I guess tapping the glass on either side there just kind of it gets me situated, lets me know where I am, and just keeps me focused for the game. I find doing the same things over and over again, it just helps me to feel comfortable and play my best game.
Excellent. And also to Patty, we were just talking about my tie earlier on. We're into
Love
the Christmas.
the tie.
Thank
Love
you so
the
much.
tie.
We are in the Christmas season. If you had to give one gift, any gift at all, to anybody on the Gander Flyers, what would gift be, and why would you pick that gift for that player?
Oh wow, that's.
How about Adam Ivany getting the point?
That wouldn't be bad.
Would that help?
I try to avoid any chirps to Ivany because he's pretty quick with a chirp. But I guess we'll go back to Donnie, and I know he's leading in points, but the man gets more breakaways than anyone I've ever played with. And so if I could get him a breakaway goal, I think that would be good. He had a partial breakaway there last week in Mount Pearl, and he capitalized on that. But I think just a full-on breakaway goal, I think that would feel really good, and he'd enjoy that.
Nice, excellent.
Yeah.
Patty, I know it was maybe a bit earlier on in the season, when it started the season, some fans were saying that maybe the biggest challenge the Flyers will have this year is back on defense. It seemed like they've been playing pretty well, and not as bad as what people thought they were going to play. But as you as a goaltender, you've got an excellent opportunity to watch the defense play. So just tell us how the defense has been playing in front of you.
I think they've been doing a great job, There's a lot of the teams in this league have a lot of offense, so we got to try and contain that in our end. And I think our guys have been doing a great job of keeping it simple, clearing out the traffic, letting Devin and I see the pucks. So it's been really good, and having new guys come in like Huffer is just gonna help that much more.
And also, too, when you talk about defense and when you talk about teams that have a lot of offense, you guys got to play the Cataracts now this weekend here in Gander on Friday night and in Grand Falls on Saturday. Just talk about some of the challenges that team presents, having so much firepower up front.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they've got a really experienced team. They've got some good size, some really powerful skaters, guys with hard shots. So I think the big thing with us now is going to be to try and stay out of the box. Grand Falls has an excellent power play. They like to work the puck up on the point, and some of their D have some pretty hard shots. So we'll like to contain that and try and stay out of the box. And I think if we can keep the game 5-on-5, we can take anybody in the league.
And also, this is your second season now, Patty, with the Flyers. Have you got to know the big rivalry now between the Cataracts, between Grand Falls, Windsor, and Gander and the Flyers? Have you seen any of that at all since you've been here?
Oh, I think so. I mean, you can definitely feel it's a bit of a different atmosphere on days that we're playing Grand Falls. And you can see it in the building with the fans, the way they react to both teams. And and I think when we go to play in Grand Falls, the fans give it to me there more than any other barn in the league for sure. And it's good to see, you get people traveling from Grand Falls to Gander, Gander to Grand Falls. So it's good. The fans are passionate about it. It's a good rivalry, and I think it's good for the league. And also, too, just for the Cataracts, they have AJ with them. I mean, AJ's he's a great goaltender, arguably the best goaltender in the league. What is it that you're seeing from him? I mean, that makes him so strong? Is it just his positioning, his reflexes? What makes him such a strong goalie, Patty? Yeah, no, AJ is definitely a good goalie, and he's got a good team there in front of him. So it's a combination of things. But I think AJ keeps it pretty simple. He's very technical, which is something I could probably use a bit of work on. He's very positional, always there to meet the puck. And and then there are those times where he happens to get out of position, but he gets right back there to make those desperation saves, make those big flashy saves, which he's pretty good at. So he's good at all aspects of the position. And so I think that's why Grand Falls have had success in goaltending. And as for you, Patty, not only are you a strong goaltender for the Gander Flyers, but
you're so personable as well. Like, there's fans out there that can come up to you, they want your autograph, you never say no. I know last year I was up taking pictures at a tournament and a kid came up and was bragging that, I got a stick from Paddy O'Brien. And I told you that on Twitter, and then you responded by saying that sort of thing happened to you when you were a kid and you're watching, I believe it was the St. John's Maple Leafs play. So just tell us that story and just tell us what happened there.
Well, that was back when the St. John's Maple Leafs were still playing here, and I hope Mom's not watching, but Dad had snuck me out of school that day and we were going down to watch the practice at Memorial. And at the time, Mike Menard was one of their goalies. And so Dad and I had been there watching the practice and mainly stuck in his hand the whole time, and I was very interested in watching the goalies. Anyway, afterwards we were there under the stands there where the players come off, and Mike came off the ice, and Dad got his attention, knew I wanted an autograph, but we ended up chatting for a bit and he gave me a stick, which was a pretty big thrill, so it felt pretty good, and Mike was a really good goalie and a really good guy, so it was kind of cool to return the favor for a kid at the rink, a bunch of years later.
But also, just like I said before, you're always open to chatting with the fans, signing autographs for the fans. You're always on Twitter talking to the fans. Is that something that's maybe important to you, Paddy, just to be a face like that and to be open to the public?
Oh, well, I mean, I think it is. I'm not going to compare it to the NHL because we're not displayed on that kind of a level, but I think fans like when players are accessible. And so I try to be that, and I think most of the guys on our team are like that. And we enjoy talking to people, talking to the kids, and getting on Twitter and talking about the team and the things that are going on. And I think with the fan support we have, we owe it to them because they're so good to us.
Now, also too, I was talking to Coach Lang before, and unfortunately, fan support has dropped a little tiny bit when it comes to people going to the rink. If that place is packed, if you get 1,300 people there cheering on the Flyers, I guess that makes a difference, hey, Paddy, as opposed to just having like 900 people in the rink. I don't know if the guys actually notice that at all when the rink is packed as opposed to maybe 800 or maybe 900 fans.
No, I mean, it definitely helps to have the fans there supporting you. And yeah, it's been down a bit, but the fans that are there, they're very passionate. They fire us up, and I think, the numbers will return. I think like I said, we've got 6 out of the last 8 points. We're playing really well. And, we knew it wasn't going to happen overnight. It's a bit of a process, and sometimes impatience gets in there a bit. But I think it's going to turn around. We've been playing really good, and you'll see the fans come back.
Now, guys, that's unfortunately all the time we had to talk to Paddy O'Brien. We waited over a season to get him in the studio. We finally got him here, Paddy. We got to do it again some other time. You got to promise us that a few weeks down the road, you'll come back and you'll do this again.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, Matt.
Now, guys, don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we're going to have Corey Abbott back in that same chair, and we're going to have our final face-off. Don't miss it.